The first of two NFL players' graves we'll be looking at today is buried at Woodlawn Memorial Park Cemetery in Nashville, Tennessee. It is that of Rob Bironas. Rob was a place kicker, and the last 9 years that he played his professional football was with the Tennessee Titans. Before coming to the Titans, Rob would play arena football as well as he played for the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've inserted also a picture of him that I took in 2013 at a football practice that was open to the public. Rob Bironas had only been married for 3 months when he died in a car accident. He was married to Football Hall of Famer Terry Bradshaw's daughter, Rachel. A few of Rob's football accomplishments were in 2007. He would win the Pro Football Weekly's Golden Toe Award, and that is an award given out to the best place kicker or punter for the year. He was also selected for the Pro Bowl football team that year. At the time of Rob's death, he had the most 40-plus yard field goals in NFL history with a total of 10. I'd also like to add that he still holds today the record for the most field goals in a single game, with it being 8. Those field goals were made in a football game in 2007 against the Houston Texans, and he had no missed field goals that day. Rob Bironas was born in Louisville, Kentucky, and he would die when he was 36 years old. Now to the next grave. We're now at the Rest Haven Memorial Gardens in Clarksville, Tennessee. We'll be looking in the Old Rugged Cross section of the cemetery for Harry Curtis Galbreath's grave, and Harry was an NFL football player. Harry's marker not only has pictures of him on it, but also shows that he played his college years at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. It also shows the 3 logos of the NFL teams he would play for: the Miami Dolphins, which drafted him in 1988, the Green Bay Packers, and the New York Jets. Harry played for 9 years in the NFL. Harry received several honors in college, with one of them being the Jacob Award, which is given for the best blocker in the Southeast Conference. In 2022, Harry was inducted to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. Harry's mother, Anna Nicholson, is buried beside him. Harry died at the age of 45 from heart ailments. Now to Mount Carmel United Methodist Church Cemetery in Clarksville, Tennessee, to see the grave of Pat Head Summitt. Pat was a ladies basketball coach for 38 years at the University of Tennessee. At the time of her death, she was the second winningest basketball coach, male or female, and today she holds the position of being the 5th winningest. She has too many awards and honors to name them all, but I will mention just a few things about her. As a college basketball player, she would win a silver medal on the United States Women Olympic basketball team, and later as a coach, she would win a gold medal for coaching the women's basketball team in the Olympics. As a coach, her team would win 8 national titles, and she never had a losing season as a coach. She is buried next to her parents, James and Hazel Head. The city of Clarksville has honored her at Liberty Park with a full-size bronze statue of her, and the Custom House Museum there has a permanent display with a case having a miniature version of the Liberty Park statue in it, along with a couple of signed basketballs. We're now at Edgefield Missionary Baptist Church Cemetery in Clarksville, Tennessee. We're looking for the grave of an Olympic gold medalist in track and field. We're looking for the grave of Wilma Rudolph. Wilma overcame childhood polio to be called the fastest woman in the world in 1960 when she won 3 gold medals in the Olympics. After winning the Olympics, there was a documentary made about Wilma, as well as numerous books was written about her, and they also made a movie about her life story. Amongst her many honors, Wilma was inducted into at least 4 Hall of Fames. The city of Clarksville has honored Wilma with naming a street after her. There's a permanent display at the museum on her, and there's a full-size bronze statue of her at Liberty Park, located by the Wilma Rudolph Event Center, which was named for Wilma. Wilma is one of 22 children that her father had by his 2 marriages. Wilma is buried next to her mother, and her mother died 6 months to the day before Wilma did. Wilma's father is also buried in the same cemetery up next to the fence row. Wilma Rudolph would die at the age of 54 from cancer. Now on to the next cemetery. Next, we're headed to Hermitage Memorial Gardens in Old Hickory, Tennessee, to see the final resting place of a race car driver, Charles Robert Hamilton, better known as Bobby Hamilton Sr. An added note, there is 2 Charles Hamiltons buried in the same mausoleum, but we're looking for the one that is Charles R. Hamilton, and it'll be easy to spot because it'll have the racing flags by it. Bobby Hamilton was not only a race car driver, but he was the owner of the Bobby Hamilton Racing Team. Bobby's first win was in the number 43 Richard Petty car. It was the first victory for that car since Richard had won it 12 years earlier. Bobby would drive a car in the movie Days of Thunder. He would also qualify in that same movie car for a race, and even though that car was never meant to be in a competitive race. Bobby's son, Bobby Hamilton Jr., is also a well-known race car driver. Bobby Hamilton Sr. really had a love for racing. It is said that he was in a race a day or 2 before he would start his chemo treatments. Bobby Hamilton would die at the age of 50 from cancer. Now we'll head on over to the grave of someone who had a more relaxed type sports to be played. We're still in Hermitage Memorial Gardens in Old Hickory, and the last grave we'll be looking at for this video is that of the pool player Rudolph Wonderon, better known as Minnesota Fats. The movie The Hustler, which came out in 1961 and starred Jackie Gleason as Minnesota Fats, is what would give Rudolph his legacy of becoming Minnesota Fats. Up until this time, he'd been known by the nickname New York Fats, but when this movie came out, he claimed that it was about him, and Walter Tevis, who was the American novelist who wrote the book, denied that it was about him. He said it was just about a fictional character he had made up. Minnesota Fats' continual claim that that movie was about him would make him a very popular man at the time. At one time, he was probably known as the most recognized pool player in the United States. Famous enough to appear on TV shows. He even wrote his own autobiography, and he even played in a movie that was truly this time about him, Minnesota Fats, and that came out in 1971, and it was called The Player. And another added note is that in 1984, he was inducted into the Billiard Congress of America Hall of Fame, which is an award to an individual who helped popularize the game of pool. And Minnesota Fats certainly did that with all of his publicity. Minnesota Fats would die 4 days shy of his 83rd birthday. Sometimes a myth can turn into a truth, and for Minnesota Fats, it certainly did. He would become a real-life hustler. Thanks so much for watching my video, and have a good day.